The OneFootball app has a brand new look, but all the same old features that are useful for an FPL manager. Get customized push notifications to receive team news, goal alerts, and more. Download it for free via the link in the description. Let's cast our minds back to before the international break, where a score of 53 points minus 4 saw a small drop down to 9.7k. It always looked a bit bleak at the back, with a tough matchup for Aston Villa against Spurs. In the end, Martinez and Targett picked up just 1 point between them. An extra hit for a Brighton defender, specifically Joel Veltman, would have paid off. But instead, it was Bale and Lookman who came in for a 4-point hit, and collectively they only added 1 point. That was largely down to the Spurs midfielder not playing a single minute, after Mourinho made some big changes to his side following their shock Europa League exit. No midfielder attempted as many assists as Lookman during the game week, while only Souček took as many as his 4 shots in the box. Lingard maintained his impressive start for West Ham, with an early goal and assist in what ended up being a 3-3 draw with Arsenal, while Rafinha slotted in from close range to secure a 2-1 win over Fulham. In addition to his 2 shots, the Brazilian racked up 4 attempted assists, with only Lookman and Antonio producing more during the game. Both forwards on display were amongst the points, with Bamford opening the scoring for Leeds before putting one on a plate for Rafinha, while Kane converted a penalty he'd won himself. So let's take a look at the transfer plans ahead of Saturday's Game Week 30 deadline. As regular viewers will know, the plan is to play the wildcard in Game Week 31. So ordinarily, this would be a good time for a 1-week punt, perhaps on a Chelsea asset at home to West Brom. Unfortunately, it's set to be a much more dull use of the free transfer. Having recently sold Bruno Fernandes, it was always a plan to get him back in ahead of his home meeting with Brighton. The Seagulls have conceded just 6 goals in their last 6 matches, with only Chelsea restricting opponents to fewer big chances, which suggests they won't be heavily beaten. But the Portuguese midfielder has averaged 7.3 points per game against the bottom 6 this season, with 5 goals and 4 assists in 9 matches. With 10.4 million in the bank, it would be possible to sell Lookman or Lingard, but with uncertainty over his starting place, it's likely to instead be Gareth Bale making way. The wildcard can then be used next game week to potentially bring in Heung-min Son, ahead of Tottenham's now confirmed Double Gameweek 32. Here's how the team is set to line up. Martinez has shipped 6 goals in his last 6 matches, keeping 2 clean sheets. Meanwhile, Aston Villa ranked joint 9th with a tally of 10 big chances conceded. Their opponents Fulham have scored just 3 goals in that time, with only West Brom and Sheffield United managing fewer. With favourable fixtures across the back line, it's tough to leave anyone out. Only 4 defenders have attempted more assists than Targett in their last 6 game weeks. Walker-Peters faces a Burnley side that have scored just 10 goals on the road this season. Only Sheffield United have fared worse. The Blades travel to Leeds in Game Week 30, making Dallas an appealing option on the back of his 4.7 points per game average across his last 6 matches. There's always the risk of rotation with Cancelo, and the fullback has featured heavily for Portugal over the international break. Gundogan has started both games for Germany so far, and is set to start their 3rd and final match as captain. But if Guardiola does decide to rest his internationals, Lingard and Lookman are on the bench ready to come in. In the last 4 game weeks, Rafinha and Bruno Fernandes have each produced 11 attempted assists, trailing only Lookman and De Bruyne, each on 12. Sheffield United have conceded league-high tallies of 9 goals and 19 big chances in their last 4 matches, boosting the appeal of both Leeds attackers. Bamford has racked up 4 goals and 4 assists across his last 10 league matches, averaging 5.2 points per game. Calvert-Lewin was on the score sheet against Burnley in his last Premier League outing, before netting a brace for England on international duty. Only Kane and Iheanacho have recorded more than his 4 big chances in the last 4 game weeks. The Spurs talisman has 4 goals and 2 assists during that period, averaging 7.2 points per game. He's up against the Newcastle side that have conceded 24 goals in 14 matches during this calendar year, with only Southampton shipping more. It looks set to be a choice between Kane and Fernandes for the armband. We'll take a look at the numbers in closer detail later in the week, with the captaincy picks video, but currently it's the Englishman who gets the nod. As mentioned earlier, Brighton have actually conceded the second fewest big chances over each team's respective last 6 matches. Newcastle have allowed 13 big chances in that time, compared to the Seagulls' 4, shipping 10 goals in the process. Only Southampton and Sheffield United have conceded more.